Hi you, King here, and these are the top 10 firebenders in Avatar The Last Airbender.
Number 10, Combustion Man. Originally, Team Avatar called him Sparky Sparky Boom Man, but felt that this explosive assassin needed a more serious name. And we never really learned what this booming brute's name actually was. All we could really remember about him was the fear of God he put into each member of Team Avatar's souls, because of regardless of how much they threw at him through their bending, it wasn't even close to stopping him. Earth, water, air, even fire. That just goes to show you how powerful combustion bending is. To be able to blow stuff up with your mind? Too bad it has a fatal weakness, the third eye mark. If you hit that, their chi flow gets all messed up and they are unable to combustion bend properly. Meaning combustion bending becomes a severe liability. Number 9, Plea. Plea is a combustion bender, and one of the rare few because of how hard it is to become a combustion bender. Literally having to be forced to do deadly training where you are trained to the bottom of the ocean just so you are able to hopefully produce combustion bending. And because of how many firebenders die during this lethal training is the reason why there's so few combustion benders. Plea herself seems to be much better than Combustion Man because of her personality and how she's able to work with a team and seems to be a bit more skilled than he was, which led to her surviving a lot longer than he did, but still in the end, meeting the same fate, self-destruction. Too bad for Sparky Sparky Boom Girl. Number 8, Mako. Now Mako started out as a pro bending player, which is an athlete and a competitive, combative, bending-focused sports game. But after meeting and befriending the Avatar, he leveled up, becoming a hero of sorts. Even going so far as to get a legit job that mirrors his now more duty-bound personality, becoming a firebending police officer. Now, on paper, Mako just seems like a normal hot boy average firebender, as he is able to simply firebend and redirect and shoot lightning. But with having both gained experience from pro bending and with working with the Avatar to save the world, he became one of the most elite firebenders of that era, which goes so far as to show he's much more than just a pretty face. Number 7, Jong Jong. This dude is a firebending genius. You do not want to have an Agni Kai with Jong Jong, cause he'll burn you worse than Ozai did Zuko's eye. Originally, Jong Jong was sought out to be the one that would teach Aang firebending, even being so far as to be forced by the spirit of Avatar Roku to teach the little airbending boy the ways of fire. But the boy was too arrogant and accidentally hurt somebody he loved. So they decided to put a little pause on learning the hot stuff. And last we saw of him, after he helped Aang and the team escape some firebender soldiers, he went and revealed himself to be one of the White Lotus members, the best of the best, which is why he's definitely top 10 firebenders. Number 6, Fire Lord Ozai. There's a reason why this guy was not only foreshadowed to be a major threat, but feared throughout the series. And it wasn't just because he was leading an entire army of firebenders into subjugating the other 3 nations. It was because this guy was about his business. Anyone dare step to him, even his own blood gets burnt in the eye. Don't get me wrong, he wasn't the greatest firebender, but he was pretty OP, especially thanks to Sozin's comet. I mean, Aang might be a pacifist, but in the Avatar state, he's basically like a nuclear weapon. And Ozai was still keeping up with him, throwing hands, catching hands. He was hanging with the Avatar, which shows why he's definitely top tier. Number 5, Azula. Princess Azula, to be more accurate. And to show top respect to the Blue Flame Queen herself. Being born a firebender prodigy, she was definitely going to be in the top 5 of the top 10. Her flames burn so hot, they burn through stone, they burn through her victims. Honestly, they're more deadly than when she shoots lightning, my bruh. Being able to fly like a fighter jet, and when you combine that level of firepower with her quick wit cunning and merciless attitude with dominating personality, No wonder Zuko had as much sister issues as he did daddy ones. So regardless of how insane Azula ended up becoming, she's still crazy hot.
Number 4, Uncle Iroh. Now, it's not really hard to believe, but Uncle Iroh is the heart of Avatar: The Last Airbender. He's the guiding light for most of the characters on the show. But he's not just sweet with his words. This man's sweet with everything. His hands, his firebending. They don't call him the Dragon of the West for none. He even started and developed the skill for what would become redirecting and shooting lightning. From the little stuff he learned from the waterbenders, showing you not only how open-minded he is, but how intelligent too. This is why this wise fire breather really is most people's favorite character. Unfortunately, as a firebender, I couldn't place him higher. Number 3, Zuko. Zuko has the best character development in the entire franchise, hands down. And not only is he a skilled fighter, fantastic with the blade, he is one of the most amazing firebenders in the entire series. Honestly, if it wasn't for the other two on this list, he would probably be top tier. Learning how to greatly firebend from the firebending masters, who are literal dragons, along with teaching the Avatar the last element he needed to learn to take down Zuko's evil father, Ozai, he beat his powerful flying blue firebending sister. He went on to become Fire Lord himself, helping the Avatar to usher in a new age of peace, but still kept on whooping butt even as an old geezer. Number 2, Roku. Now you had to see this coming. I mean, every Avatar is born into one nation, part of the Avatar cycle, and we don't know much about the various Avatars born into the Fire Nation except for a few like Roku. But as you can easily imagine, being born the Avatar would make you naturally one of the strongest firebenders. Not just because of the boost in power when it comes to bending that element, but because you also have access to the other 3 elements as well. Also, Roku was so wise, so helpful to Aang. And yes, he failed to stop Sozin from starting the 100-Year War. But that's because he had to take on a sudden, giant active volcano that would have threatened to destroy the entire Fire Nation, so I don't blame him for having to take a dirt nap. Number 1, Avatar 1. Being the very first Avatar, the very first element that he gained the ability to bend from the Lion Turtles was, yes indeed, fire. Meaning, the very first Avatar started as a firebender, which is why it makes so much sense why he's number 1 on the firebender list. I always had a feeling, I always had my theories that the very first Avatar's very first element was fire. So imagine my glee when I found out I was right. And Wan is so cool because he started out so flawed, but not only redeemed himself, but proved himself in the eyes of both people and spirits. And it is him and Rava inside every Avatar since they're all his reincarnations, which is why Wan is number 1. So these were the top 10 firebenders in Avatar: The Last Airbender. If you enjoyed this video, then please like, share, subscribe, and follow. If you have your own thoughts on how you would have made this list, then comment so below. Also, watch out for my top 10 earthbenders in Avatar: The Last Airbender videos coming out. Ring that notification bell so you know first when they drop. Thank you for watching till the end, and peace.